The massive ship of the Galactic Council moved silently through space toward the blue planet. Inside, Ambassador Zix Tar of the Norillian Empire adjusted his ceremonial robes. This was a routine mission. Earth would be the 38th world to join their federation. Humans were primitive, but had potential. The Council had done this many times before. "We will be in Earth orbit in 5 minutes, Ambassador," said his aide. Zix Tar nodded. "Excellent. Begin broadcasting the welcome message on all frequencies once we arrive." On Earth, alarms blared across the monitoring stations of the Earth Defense Fleet. Captain John Miller rushed to the command center, coffee still in hand. "Report," he shouted. "Sir, unknown vessel approaching Earth orbit. Massive energy signature." "Nothing like we've ever seen," responded Lieutenant Susan Clark, her eyes fixed on the screen. "They're not responding to hails." John frowned. "Launch interceptors. Ready defensive systems." In the years since humans had developed space travel, they had never encountered alien life, but they had prepared for the possibility. "Sir, they're broadcasting something now," Susan said. She listened through her headset. I think it's a message, but our systems can't translate it." The alien ship continued its approach, ignoring Earth's attempts at communication. "They're moving into weapons range," warned Officer Gary Simpson. "What are your orders, sir?" John took a deep breath. "Fire a warning shot. Wide margin. Let them know we're serious." A beam of energy shot from the Earth defense platform, deliberately missing the alien vessel by half a mile. Aboard the Council ship, chaos erupted. "They're firing on a diplomatic vessel," screamed Zix Tar, clutching his console as the ship rocked from emergency maneuvers. "These savages. Retreat immediately." "But Ambassador, they missed us by a considerable distance," his pilot noted. "A demonstration of their barbaric nature. They want us to know they could have destroyed us." "This is worse than we thought. The Council must be informed immediately." The alien ship abruptly changed course and accelerated away from Earth at incredible speed. Back on Earth, confusion spread through command centers worldwide. "They're leaving?" John asked, bewildered. "What just happened?" In Washington, D.C., the president called an emergency meeting. Representatives from major world powers gathered quickly. "So we may have just had first contact with an alien civilization, and they ran away when we fired a warning shot?" the president asked, looking around the table. Dr. Alan Pierce, the government's top xenolinguistics specialist, adjusted his glasses nervously. "I've analyzed the broadcast they sent. Our computers couldn't translate it, but there are patterns. I believe it was a declaration of some kind." "A declaration of what?" "War?" asked a general. "No," Alan said. "Based on the repetitive structures and tone modulations, I believe it was more like an announcement, perhaps introducing themselves." The room fell silent. "So they came to say hello, and we shot at them," the president said quietly. "A warning shot," John corrected through the video link. "Standard procedure for unidentified craft ignoring communication attempts." Susan Clark spoke up. "Sir, I've been analyzing their retreat. They didn't just leave. They transmitted massive amounts of data before departing. They were reporting back to someone." The implications hung heavy in the air. 2 days later, Earth's most powerful radio telescope detected a surge of transmissions from various points in nearby space. Alan and his team worked around the clock. "They're talking about us," he finally reported. "Different signals from different locations, multiple species possibly. The word for Earth appears frequently, along with terms that might mean danger or caution." "What have we done?" The president asked no one in particular. John stared at the stars through a window. "We defended ourselves against an unknown. That's our job." "And now?" someone asked. Alan looked up from his data. "Now we wait. But one thing is clear. We're not alone, and whoever they are, they're afraid of us." In the darkness of space, messages raced between worlds of the Galactic Council. Emergency sessions were called. Military assets were mobilized, and all because humanity had done what it always did when faced with the unknown, prepared to fight. The grand hall of Nexus Prime buzzed with nervous energy. Hundreds of aliens from 37 different species filled the circular chamber. Some had tentacles, others had multiple eyes, and a few were just clouds of gas in containment suits. But they all shared one thing: fear. High Counselor Vexmora banged a glowing staff against the floor. The room fell silent. "We face an unprecedented threat," Vexmora said, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "The humans of Earth have revealed themselves to be more dangerous than any species we have encountered." The large screen behind him showed images of Earth's military forces, tanks, fighter jets, and soldiers in combat. The council members murmured with concern. "They fired upon our diplomatic vessel without provocation," shouted a delegate from the back. Intelligence Officer Krelzon stepped forward. She was tall and thin with pale blue skin. "Our analysis of human history shows they have spent most of their development fighting each other. War is their natural state." More images flashed on the screen: world wars, nuclear tests, and military parades. "They must be contained," Vexmora declared, "for the safety of all civilized worlds." From the shadows at the back of the hall, Admiral Kate Johnson watched silently. She had traveled to Nexus Prime in secret, using an experimental stealth ship designed by Earth's top engineers. Dressed in a cloak that concealed her human features, she recorded everything. "I propose immediate quarantine of the Sol system," Vexmora continued. "No trade, no communication, no travel." A small round alien with pink fur stood up. This was Iluvi, representative of the peaceful Iluvian race. "High Counselor, perhaps there has been a misunderstanding," Iluvi said gently. "Our records show humans have also created art, music, and literature. They care for their young and build communities." Vexmora waved a dismissive hand. "Kind words from the Iluvians, as always, but your species has never faced extinction." "Neither have we," said Iluvi firmly. "Not from humans. At least, we should attempt peaceful contact again." "While preparing for the worst," added another delegate. Kate moved carefully around the edge of the room, trying to hear more. Her universal translator worked well, but some of the alien languages had subtleties it couldn't catch. The council argued for hours. Kate recorded it all, including the voting process. In the end, they decided to send another peace delegation to Earth, but the ship would be secretly accompanied by a battle fleet hiding behind Jupiter. As the meeting ended, Kate slipped away through a service corridor. She nearly bumped into a maintenance worker with 3 arms. "Apologies," she muttered, keeping her face hidden. The alien grunted and moved on. Kate exhaled with relief. Back on her hidden ship, Kate reviewed the footage. "This is worse than we thought," she whispered to herself. She prepared a message to Earth, encoding it to avoid detection by Council monitoring systems. As her ship slipped away from Nexus Prime under cover of darkness, she sent the warning: "Council appears peaceful, but prepares for war. Second contact imminent. Suggest extreme caution." On Earth, world leaders gathered once again. The president looked tired as he addressed the room. "Admiral Johnson's report confirms our suspicions. This Galactic Council views us as a threat." "Ironic," said John Miller, who had been promoted after the first contact incident. "They're the ones with the advanced technology." Dr. Alan Pierce nodded. "And yet they fear us. Their misunderstanding of our warning shot has created a dangerous situation." "What do we do when they return?" asked Director Patricia Ross of the NSA. The president looked at the latest satellite images showing unusual activity near Jupiter. "We receive their peace offer politely. But we trust nothing, and we reveal nothing." "And if they've come for war instead of peace?" John asked. The room fell silent, as everyone contemplated the possibility of facing an enemy with technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. "Then we show them why they were right to be afraid," the president finally said. Across the vast emptiness of space, ships moved into position. The second contact was coming, and neither side fully understood the other. The stage was set for either a new era of peace or the first interstellar war involving humanity. The massive alien ship appeared in Earth's orbit with no warning. It was 3 times larger than the first vessel and covered in gleaming symbols. Smaller ships surrounded it, carrying gifts and peace offerings from the Galactic Council. Commander William Hayes stood at attention as the alien delegation entered the United Nations building in New York. 6 different alien species made up the peace envoy. Their leader, a tall being with silver skin named Trelvor, stepped forward. "People of Earth," Trelvor said through a translator device, "we come in peace to welcome you to the galactic community." William nodded politely but said nothing. His orders were clear: be respectful, but reveal nothing. Trelvor presented a scroll-like device. "This treaty offers Earth protection, technology, and trade opportunities. All we ask is that you follow Council laws and allow us to monitor your military development." The world leaders gathered in the room exchanged glances. The president spoke carefully. "We thank you for these generous offers. We will need time to review the treaty." Miles away, in a secure underground facility, NSA Director Patricia Ross and her team monitored every signal coming from the alien ships. Her fingers flew across her keyboard as she decoded a hidden transmission. "Got it," she said, her voice tense. "They're talking to ships hiding behind Jupiter. Listen to this." She played the translation. "Humans are being cooperative but cautious. Peace delegation proceeding as planned. Battle fleet remain on standby." Patricia immediately sent the intercept to the president's secure tablet. Back at the UN, Trelvor presented ornate boxes filled with what he called friendship gifts for Earth. They included medical devices, educational tools, and small power generators. "These will demonstrate the benefits of joining the Council," he explained. The gifts were politely accepted and immediately taken to secure labs for analysis. Lieutenant Eric Taylor, a technology specialist, examined one of the small power generators. He carefully scanned every component. "There's something embedded in here," he told his supervisor, pointing to a tiny device hidden inside. "It's transmitting data." Similar discoveries were made in every gift. The aliens had hidden surveillance technology in everything they brought. 3 days later, the president addressed the alien delegation. "After careful consideration, Earth must respectfully decline your treaty," he said. Trelvor's silver skin seemed to pale. "May I ask why?" "The terms are most generous." "We appreciate your offer," the president replied, "but we cannot accept terms that limit our sovereignty or allow foreign monitoring of our planet." "Perhaps we can adjust the terms," Trelvor suggested quickly. "The Council is flexible." Behind the scenes, Patricia Ross intercepted more hidden communications. "First offer rejected. Proceed to secondary proposal. Maintain surveillance." A week later, a second delegation arrived with new terms. These appeared more favorable, with fewer restrictions on Earth's military and more technology offerings. But Eric and his team found even more sophisticated surveillance devices hidden in the new gifts. Earth rejected this offer too. A third delegation came, then a fourth. Each time, the terms improved on the surface, but the Council's true intentions remained the same: control humanity before humans became a bigger threat. Each rejection increased the panic among Council races. Their hidden communications became more frantic. "Humans are not following the pattern," one message said. "All species except by the third offer." "They must know about the fleet," said another. "Could they be more advanced than we thought?" After the fifth rejection, the Council delegates met in their ship orbiting Earth. "We don't understand," said Trelvor to his team. "What do these humans want? Why do they refuse every reasonable offer?" And Aide replied, "Perhaps they are truly the warlike species our intelligence suggests. Perhaps they want conflict." Trelvor looked down at Earth through a viewport. No species has ever rejected Council membership 5 times. A High Council won't know what to do next. On Earth, world leaders gathered to discuss their strategy. "They're getting desperate," said William. "Each offer reveals more about their technology and their fears." The president nodded. "Then it's time for our countermove. Let's show the galaxy that humanity won't be manipulated or controlled." And with that decision, Earth prepared to take the initiative in this dangerous cosmic game. The world changed quickly after Earth rejected the fifth peace offer. Countries that had fought for centuries now worked together. The United Earth Defense Coalition formed in just 2 months, with every nation joining. UDDC Director Paul Martinez stood before a room of the brightest minds from around the world. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders filled the underground facility built beneath the Rocky Mountains. "We face a technologically superior enemy that sees us as a threat," Paul said. "But they've given us something valuable with each visit: knowledge." Engineer Lisa Rodriguez stepped forward. She was small in stature but commanded respect with her sharp mind and direct manner. On the table before her lay pieces of alien technology salvaged from the gifts. "We've been reverse engineering everything they left behind," Lisa explained. "Their surveillance devices contain communication technology far beyond ours, but not beyond our understanding." She pressed a button, and a holographic map of nearby star systems appeared above the table. Everyone gasped. "We now know where they come from," Lisa continued. "And more importantly, we know they aren't united." Intelligence reports from Admiral Kate Johnson had revealed important information. The Galactic Council wasn't loved by all species in the galaxy. Many smaller civilizations resented Council control. "It's time for our countermove," said Paul. "Captain Daniel Wright, please brief the team on Operation Handshake." Daniel, a tall man with dark skin and a serious expression, stepped forward. "We've modified 3 ships with reverse-engineered stealth technology. While the Council thinks we're still considering their latest offer, we'll reach out to these non-Council species." He pointed to 3 star systems on the map: the Valkyrie, the Tresson, and the Neroni. All technologically advanced, all with reasons to dislike the Council's control. The mission launched in secret 3 days later. Earth's first ambassadors to the stars left not in peace with the Council, but in search of allies against it. While Captain Wright and his teams traveled to distant stars, Lisa and her engineers worked tirelessly. The alien technology yielded more secrets every day. They use quantum entanglement for instant communication, Lisa told Paul during one late-night briefing. "We've replicated it on a small scale." "How long until we can use it?" Paul asked. "A month, maybe less," Lisa replied. "And that's not all. The power systems in their ships, we understand the principles now." Across Earth, factories that once built cars now constructed defensive systems based on alien designs. Universities focused all research on space technology. Children played with toys that taught them alien languages. 6 weeks after leaving Earth, Captain Wright's ships returned, with visitors. The Valkyrie were tall with bony ridges on their heads and arms. The Tresson had 4 arms and skin that changed color with their emotions. The Neroni looked almost human except for their silver eyes and pointed ears. All 3 species had suffered under Council rule. All 3 welcomed the chance for new allies. Ambassador Krell of the Valkyrie spoke to Earth's leaders. "Your reputation reaches far. The Council fears you because you are unlike other species they have encountered. You refuse to bow. You question everything." Ambassador Zinn of the Tresson added, "They call you warlike, but we see a species that values freedom above safety. This is something we understand." The Neroni Ambassador Pella smiled. "And now you have done what no young species has ever done. Sought your own path among the stars instead of accepting the one offered." Paul Martinez looked at the 3 alien ambassadors. "Together, we can show the Council that Earth won't be controlled or contained." On Nexus Prime, the emergency alarms sounded through the Council chamber. Intelligence Officer Krelzon rushed in with the report. "Humans have made contact with the Valkyrie, Tresson, and Neroni. They'd formed alliances." High Counselor Vexmora's 4 eyes widened in shock. "Impossible. How could they reach those worlds? They've been reverse engineering our technology, Krelzon explained, and they've been far more successful than we anticipated. Panic spread through the council. Humanity had outmaneuvered them. What had started as a simple containment of a potentially dangerous species had become a complex galactic situation, and Earth was just getting started. 3 months passed. Earth and its new allies shared technology, culture, and military strategies. The Valkyrie taught humans how to improve their spacecraft engines. The Tressin shared medical knowledge that cured several human diseases. The Neroni helped upgrade Earth's communication systems to match Council standards. In return, humans taught their allies about creativity, unpredictable tactics, and music. The aliens were fascinated by human art and stories. On Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council met in its grandest chamber. This was no ordinary meeting. All 37 member species had sent their highest leaders. The atmosphere was tense. High Counselor Vexmora looked tired. His 4 eyes had dark circles beneath them. The human situation has become untenable, he announced. They now have alliance with 3 former Council affiliate worlds. They have adapted our technology at an alarming rate. They must be contained before they destabilize the entire galactic order. The Council voted. The decision was nearly unanimous. Earth would receive one final peace offer, with a deadline and consequences. The largest Council ship yet appeared in Earth's orbit 1 week later. It was massive, nearly the size of a small moon. Behind it waited 20 warships, visible and threatening. The message came to every screen on Earth simultaneously. High Counselor Vexmora himself delivered it. People of Earth, this is our final offer of peace. Accept membership in the Galactic Council under the following terms. Supervised integration over 5 Earth years, restrictions on military development, and Council oversight of all technological advancement. You have 48 hours to accept. After that time, we will be forced to take action to protect galactic security. The threat was clear. Leaders from around the world gathered in the UEDC headquarters. Representatives from the Valkyrie, Tressin, and Neroni joined them. They're serious this time, said Paul Martinez, looking at the images of the Council fleet. Ambassador Krell of the Valkyrie nodded. These are their most powerful ships. They've never shown this much force to a single planet before. What are our options? Asked the President. Lisa Rodriguez stepped forward. We've made significant progress with the reverse engineer technology. Our defenses are stronger than the Council realizes. Lieutenant Nancy Peterson added, My cyber warfare division has identified vulnerabilities in Council navigation systems. We can disrupt their fleet coordination if needed. The room fell silent as everyone considered the situation. Earth had made incredible progress, but was it enough to face the full might of the Galactic Council? Paul Martinez stood. I believe it's time to show the Council exactly who they're dealing with. The President nodded. Prepare our response. 2 hours later, Paul Martinez stood before cameras broadcasting to the entire world and to the Council ships above. To the Galactic Council and all peaceful species of the galaxy, Earth rejects your ultimatum. We will not surrender our independence or accept second-class status in the galaxy. We have seen through your peace offers to the control you actually seek. The broadcast switched to show Earth's new fleet of ships, built with technology from their alien allies. Then it showed the defensive platforms surrounding the planet, more advanced than anything the Council expected. We stand ready to defend ourselves if attacked, but we still hope for true peace, not domination disguised as protection. We invite the Illuvian peacekeepers to mediate talks between Earth and the Council as equals. On the Council flagship, Vexmora watched in shock. How did they build so much so quickly? Our intelligence said they were at least 10 years from this level of technology. His advisors had no answers. Even more shocking was what happened next. The Illuvian delegation, known throughout the galaxy as the most peaceful species in the Council, announced they would accept Earth's invitation to mediate. The humans show wisdom in seeking peaceful resolution, even as they demonstrate strength. said the Illuvian representative, Illuvi. "We believe all sides can benefit from proper dialogue." Vexmora faced a difficult choice. Attacking Earth now would mean going against the Illuvian mediators, something that would damage the Council's reputation. But allowing humans more time meant they would only grow stronger. "Begin military operations," he finally ordered. "The humans have left us no choice." The first interstellar war involving humanity was about to begin. The Council fleet moved toward Earth with confidence. Their ships were larger, more numerous, and built by civilizations with thousands of years of space travel experience. They positioned themselves near Jupiter, using the giant planet's moons as cover. Colonel Frank Wilson watched from the command center of Earth's largest defense station. At 45, Frank had spent his entire adult life in the military. Now he was in charge of defending Earth against an alien invasion. "All ships report ready status," said his second-in-command. Frank nodded. "And the new shield systems?" "Engineer Rodriguez confirms all systems are operating at full capacity." Frank took a deep breath. "Then we wait for them to make the first move." They didn't wait long. The Council fleet launched forward, accelerating toward Earth. Their weapons powered up, glowing with energy. "They're broadcasting a message," said Lieutenant Ben Adams at the communication station. The face of the Council fleet commander appeared on screen. He had green scales and yellow eyes. "This is Commander Zex-4 of the Galactic Council Peace Enforcement Division. Earth forces, power down your weapons and prepare to receive Council representatives. Resistance will be met with appropriate force." Frank leaned forward. "Send our response." Ben nodded and pressed a button. "This is Colonel Frank Wilson of Earth Defense. We will defend our planet. We suggest you reconsider your approach." Zex-4 made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your primitive vessels cannot stand against the Council fleet. Stand down and spare your people unnecessary suffering." Frank cut the transmission. "All ships, defensive formation Alpha. Prepare for engagement." The Earth fleet was smaller but moved with precision. They formed a barrier between the approaching Council ships and their home planet. The first shots came from the Council's lead vessels, energy beams that shot toward Earth's ships. Everyone in the command center held their breath. The beams hit the shields of Earth's lead ships and dissipated harmlessly. Frank allowed himself a small smile. Lysa Rodriguez's adaptation of Valkyrie shield technology worked perfectly. "Return fire," he ordered. "Targeted strikes only." Earth's ships fired back. Their weapons were based on Tresson designs, modified by human engineers to be more powerful. The shots broke through the Council ship's shields and caused damage. Commander Zex-4's face showed shock when he appeared on screen again. "How is this possible? Your technology should be centuries behind ours." Frank didn't respond. Instead, he gave the order they had been waiting for: activate the quantum disruption field. Engineer Carlos Ramirez had worked day and night on this device, combining human innovation with Neroni science. Now, from his station on Earth, he pressed the activation sequence. A wave of invisible energy spread out from Earth, washing over the battlefield. Immediately, most of the Council ships' weapons stopped working. Their engines sputtered. Communication between their vessels became impossible. Chaos spread through the Council fleet. Some ships tried to retreat. Others continued fighting with limited capabilities. A few collided with each other in the confusion. "They're in disarray," reported Ben. "The quantum field is working even better than expected." Frank nodded. "Launch Phase 2. From behind Earth's moon, a fleet of Valkyrie warships appeared. They had been waiting, hidden, for this moment. They moved quickly to surround the struggling Council forces. Commander Zex-4's ship was one of the few with still functioning communications. His face appeared again on the screen, but now there was fear in his yellow eyes. "This is impossible. You're just primitives. How did you defeat our technologies?" Frank leaned forward. "You made a mistake common in history, Commander. You underestimated humans. 3 hours after the battle began, it was over. The Council fleet was surrounded, disabled and faced a choice: surrender or be destroyed. ZEX-4 made the only logical decision. The Galactic Council Peace Enforcement Division surrenders to Earth forces. Word of the Council's defeat spread across the galaxy at the speed of quantum communications. On hundreds of worlds, beings of all kinds received the news with shock. The mighty Galactic Council, undefeated for 2,000 years, had lost a battle to a species that had only achieved spaceflight within the last century. And on Nexus Prime, true panic began to spread. The Galactic Council chamber had never been so loud. Representatives shouted over each other as images of the defeated fleet played on large screens. Some pounded tables with fists, tentacles, or claws. Others huddled in frightened groups, whispering about the human threat. High Counselor Vex Mora struggled to maintain order. "Please, we must respond with unity and—" "Unity?" interrupted the delegate from Ferosa, a planet known for its warrior culture. "Your leadership has brought us to this disaster. You said humans were primitive." Others joined in. The Zentari delegate stood up, her blue skin flushed purple with anger. "My world commits no more ships to this human conflict. We withdraw our military support." One by one, species announced similar positions. The council was falling apart before Vex Mora's 4 eyes. "The humans must have help," he shouted desperately. They couldn't advance so quickly alone. The doors to the chamber burst open. Guards rushed in, surrounding Vex Mora. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. An elder council member stepped forward. "The emergency committee has voted. You are removed from leadership due to the Jupiter disaster." On Earth, celebrations continued for days after the victory. But in secure rooms, leaders planned their next moves. "The council is in chaos," reported Admiral Kate Johnson, recently returned from another secret mission. At least 12 species have withdrawn from their military alliance. 3 more are calling for peace talks. Paul Martinez nodded. "And our intelligence from captured ships." "Even better than we hoped," Kate replied. "We've discovered Earth isn't the only target. The Council has been containing dozens of developing civilizations." The president leaned forward. "So their peace offers to us were the same script they use on everyone," Kate confirmed. "Find a new spacefaring species, intimidate them with superior technology, force them into membership with limited rights. They've been doing it for thousands of years." Dr. Michelle Brown, Earth's chief diplomat, spoke up. "We should use this opportunity. With the Council weakened, we can propose a new type of relationship. Not just for us," added Paul. "For all the species they've been controlling." 2 weeks later, Dr. Brown led a diplomatic team to Nexus Prime. It was the first official Earth delegation to the Council homeworld. They traveled on an advanced ship built with combined human and alien technology. The Council chamber fell silent as Michelle walked in. Some delegates had never seen a human in person before. "I come representing not just Earth," she began, "but a vision for a different future. One where new species are welcomed as equals, not subjected as inferiors." She activated a holographic display showing 17 new Earth colonies on distant moons and planets. The Council delegates gasped. In just months, humans had expanded farther and faster than any species in Council records. "Earth presents 2 paths forward," Michelle continued. "First, we can join your Council as full and equal members, with the same rights as founding species. Or second, we continue independently with our allies, creating a new association of worlds based on mutual respect." The Council representatives looked at each other nervously. A human alliance would be a powerful rival to the Council. "We need time to consider," said the acting High Counselor, a Trilaxian with tentacles that twitched anxiously. Michelle smiled politely. "Of course, we understand important decisions take time." As the Earth delegation left the chamber, whispers followed them. "They're not what we expected," said one delegate to another. "Did you see their colonies? 17 worlds already. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach to emerging species." On their ship heading back to Earth, Michelle turned to her team. "It worked. They're scared but also intrigued. Several delegates approached me privately after the session. What did they want? Asked her assistant. To know if we were serious about a new type of galactic organization, and to ask if their worlds could join us instead of staying with the Council. The Earth ship accelerated away from Nexus Prime, leaving confusion and uncertainty behind. Species that had been quiet during the Council's reign of power now began to speak up. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting rapidly, and it all started because humans had done something unprecedented. They had said no to the Galactic Council. 1 year passed since the Battle of Jupiter. The galaxy had changed more in that single year than in the previous century. The old Galactic Council no longer existed. In its place stood the new Galactic Assembly, where all member species had equal voting rights regardless of how long they had been spacefaring. Earth and its original allies, the Valkyrie, Tresson, and Huroni, held significant influence in this new structure. Today was the official opening ceremony of the Assembly's new headquarters on a neutral planet called Harmony. Representatives from 54 species gathered in the Grand Chamber. The architecture blended styles from many worlds, including Earth. Captain John Miller, who had fired that fateful warning shot during first contact, now led Earth's official delegation. He still found it hard to believe how much had changed because of that single moment. The first session of the Galactic Assembly is now open, announced the elected chairperson, a Tresson named Zinla. John looked around the room. Some faces were familiar. Ambassador Krell of the Valkyrie nodded to him from across the chamber. Others were new, species that had been suppressed by the old council, but now found their voice in the assembly. Most surprising were the former council hardliners who now sought reconciliation. Krellzahn, once the intelligence officer who had labeled humans as dangerous primitives, approached John during a break. Captain Miller, she said, her blue skin slightly paler than he remembered. I wish to formally apologize for my role in the misjudgment of humanity. John nodded politely. History took an unexpected turn for all of us. Indeed, she replied. Few could have predicted that your species would so completely change the galactic order. After the opening ceremonies, a private meeting was called. Only the highest representatives from each world were invited. John found himself in a secure room with Admiral Kate Johnson and leaders from 30 other major worlds. Admiral Johnson stood before the group. What I'm about to share has been Earth's most closely guarded secret. It's the real reason we refused council membership and pushed for this new assembly. She activated a holographic display. It showed something massive and dark at the edge of the galaxy. It seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. We call it the void consciousness, Kate explained. Our deep space telescopes detected it 6 months before first contact with the council. At first, we thought it was a black hole, but it's moving with purpose. It's alive, in some sense, and it's heading toward the populated areas of our galaxy. The room fell silent. We've calculated its path and speed. Within 50 years, it will reach the first inhabited systems. Within 100, it could threaten a quarter of all known worlds. A Noroni representative spoke up. Why keep this secret until now? John answered, because under the old council system, Earth would have had no real voice. We would have provided the information, and then been pushed aside while the established species made all decisions. We needed equal standing to ensure our concerns were taken seriously. Kate continued, the void consciousness appears to feed on energy, all forms of energy, including life itself. It has already consumed several uninhabited star systems. Traditional weapons seem useless against it. So you needed a united galaxy, said former High Counselor Trelvor, who now represented his species in the assembly. Not divided by ancient politics and hierarchies. Exactly, John confirmed. This threat requires all of us working together, sharing technology and resources as equals. The next day, the full assembly received the briefing about the void consciousness. Instead of panic, there was resolve. Species that had once feared humanity now looked to Earth for leadership against this greater threat. As the Assembly voted unanimously to form a united defense initiative, John reflected on the strange journey. What had begun with a misunderstanding and fear had led to the strongest alliance the galaxy had ever known. Earth had refused peace offers from the Council, not because humans wanted war, but because they recognized that true peace required equality and respect. And now, as the galaxy faced its greatest challenge, that principle would be their greatest strength. The panic that had once gripped the Galactic Council had transformed into purpose, and humanity, once feared as a threat, would help lead the way forward.